The text message came through while I was chaperoning my daughter Emma's 5th grade science camp trip. 3 words from my mother: call me immediately. I stepped away from the group examining pond water samples and dialed. Your niece needs space for her dance trophies, Mom announced. Emma can sleep in the attic. We've already moved everything. You what? Your sister's daughter gets Emma's room now. It's already done, Mom declared. Madison has regionals coming up and she needs proper space to practice. The attic has perfectly good floor space. Mom, we're 3 hours away. Emma's bed. We donated it to Goodwill this morning. Madison is staying with us for the next 6 months while your sister figures out her living situation. I could hear my sister Jennifer's voice in the background. Tell her Madison needs consistency right now. Emma can sacrifice for once. Emma had lived in that room since she was 2 years old. Every growth chart mark, every paint color, the window seat where she read, all of it was in the house where Emma stayed every other weekend. Family shares, sweetie, Dad's voice came through. Madison is going through a difficult time with the divorce. Emma is young and adaptable. She'll be fine in the attic. I closed my eyes and took a slow breath. I understand, I said quietly. Good. We're having a welcome dinner for Madison tonight. You and Emma can join us when you get back Sunday. Oh, and pick up a cake on your way. Madison loves chocolate. The call ended. I stood there as my phone buzzed with a photo from Jennifer. Madison sprawled across Emma's former room, trophies lined up on the shelves where Emma's rock collection had been. Another text from Jennifer. Mom and Dad are being so generous. This is exactly what Madison needs right now. I pulled up my contacts and made a different call. Stevens and Associates. Marcus Chan, please. Tell him it's about the property on Riverside Drive. My accountant picked up within 30 seconds. I was wondering when you'd call. I saw the activity on the account this morning. What activity? Your parents withdrew $15,000 for renovations. New flooring for the bedroom. They used the emergency access you'd set up. I watched a dragonfly hover over the pond. Pull everything. All funding, all access, all automatic payments. Effective immediately. The mortgage coverage? Everything, Marcus. That's going to leave them with approximately 4 months before default. The property taxes alone are. I'm aware. Process it today. The rest of the weekend passed with hiking and campfires. Emma caught fireflies and talked excitedly about showing her rocks to Grandma and Grandpa, about the new geode she wanted to crack open in her room. I didn't tell her. Not yet. Sunday evening we drove home. My phone buzzed continuously. I ignored it until we pulled into our driveway. 17 missed calls. 12 from my mother, 5 from my father. 8 text messages from Jennifer, progressing from confusion to anger. I tucked Emma into bed in our house and finally listened to the messages. Mom's voice shrill. The mortgage company called. They said our payment was declined. There must be some mistake. Call me back right now. Dad attempting calm. Sweetheart, there seems to be an issue with the house account. We need to discuss the financial arrangements. Jennifer furious. What did you do? Mom is having a breakdown. You need to fix this immediately. I poured a glass of wine and called Marcus back. How much exactly? I asked. You've been covering their mortgage for 7 years. That's $4,000 monthly. Property taxes quarterly, another $6,000 per installment. The renovation loan they took out 3 years ago. You've been covering that payment too. $1,500 monthly. Homeowners insurance, HOA fees, the roof repair last year, the HVAC replacement. He paused. Conservative estimate? You've put about $400,000 into that property over the past 7 years. And they think. Based on the conversations I've had with your father in the past, he believes his pension and your mother's part-time bookkeeping business cover everything. They have no idea the house would have been foreclosed 6 years ago without your intervention. I swirled the wine in my glass. What about the renovations they just did? $15,000 from the emergency account, like I said. They believed it was their money. The account was set up in your father's name, but you've been the sole funding source since inception. My phone buzzed again. Mom's photo flashed on the screen. I let it go to voicemail. The next call came from a number I didn't recognize. Miss Peterson? This is Robert Caldwell from First National Bank. I'm calling about the property at 847 Riverside Drive. We've received notice that the automatic payment arrangement has been terminated. The account holders, your parents, are currently 3 months behind on. 3 months. Yes, ma'am. The automatic payments covered the arrears, but with that arrangement terminated, the full balance is now due. They're quite distressed. They were under the impression their accounts were in good standing. Because they were. When I was paying. A pause on the other end. I see. Are you willing to reinstate the payment arrangement? No. Then I'm required to inform you that foreclosure proceedings will begin in 30 days unless the arrears and the current month are paid in full. That's $18,000. I understand. Thank you for the call. I hung up and finally called my parents back. Mom answered on the first ring. Oh, thank God. There's been a terrible mistake. The bank says we're behind on the mortgage, but that's impossible. Your father's pension doesn't cover the mortgage, Mom. It never has. Silence. What are you talking about? Dad's voice came through on speaker. The house. The one you just renovated to give Emma's room away. The one where you made family decisions without consulting me. Who did you think was paying for it? Our pension and my bookkeeping income. Mom started. Covers your groceries and utilities. Barely. I've been paying the mortgage for 7 years. The property taxes. The insurance. The renovation loan you took out for the kitchen remodel. The new roof. The HVAC system. All of it. That's ridiculous, Jennifer's voice cut in. He was there too. Of course she was. Mom and Dad own that house outright. Actually, they have $280,000 remaining on a mortgage they refinanced 8 years ago, which I've been paying. $4,000 monthly. You're lying, Jennifer snapped. Call the bank. Better yet, check the account statements you've never looked at. The automatic payment source? That was my business account. The emergency fund you just used for Madison's room renovation? My money. Dad's voice came through smaller now. Why would you do that without telling us? You needed help. After the medical bills from Mom's surgery, after the refinance went wrong, you were going to lose the house. I couldn't let that happen. So I set up the payments quietly and let you keep your dignity. Then why are you stopping now? Mom's voice cracked. You gave away my daughter's room. Threw out her bed. Made major decisions about a space I've been funding without even asking me. You wanted to make unilateral family decisions? Make them with your own money. This is insane, Jennifer said. Over a bedroom? You're going to let our parents lose their house over a bedroom? No. I'm going to let them experience the consequences of their choices. You wanted Madison to have that space so badly? You fund it. The renovation costs, the mortgage, all of it. Step up. I'm going through a divorce. I don't have. Exactly. You don't have it. Neither do Mom and Dad. But you all felt entitled to make decisions about resources I was providing. We didn't know, Dad whispered. You didn't ask. 7 years of automatic payments and you never once questioned where the money came from. You just assumed you had it under control. Another call beeped through. Marcus again. I switched over. The property management company just called. Your parents listed the house with them this afternoon, trying to arrange a quick sale. They can't. You're listed as a lien holder for the unpaid property taxes you covered last year. The title isn't clear. How much are we talking about? $12,000 in liens under your name. Plus the renovation loan they don't realize is also in your name as co-signer. Another $43,000. Even if they sell, they'll need your authorization to clear the title. I switched back to my parents. You can't sell the house either. Not without my signature. The liens I've covered, the loans I've co-signed, I'm all over that title. What do you want? Dad asked quietly. I want you to understand that resources aren't unlimited just because you want them to be. I want you to recognize that you made a choice to prioritize Jennifer and Madison over Emma and me. And I want you to live with that choice using your own means. Please, Mom said. We can't afford. Neither could I actually. Do you know how many extra shifts I worked to cover your mortgage? How many opportunities one turned down because I was funneling money into your house? I did it because family is everything. Remember? That's what you always said. We'll fix this, Dad said. We'll give Emma her room back. With what furniture? You donated her bed. Her dresser. Everything. We'll buy new. With what money, Dad? You can't even cover your mortgage. Jennifer's voice cut in, sharp with desperation. So what's your solution? Let them lose everything. My solution is the same one you gave me. Family shares, right? You and Madison can move in with mom and dad. Pool your resources. Figure it out together. That's what family does according to you. That's not fair. Fair? You're right. Fair would have been asking before you threw out a 10-year-old's bed. Fair would have been considering that Emma might have feelings about being displaced to an attic. Fair would have been recognizing that you don't make decisions about resources you don't provide. I let the silence stretch. Here's what's going to happen, I said finally. I'm removing all financial support. The mortgage, the taxes, the insurance, all of it. You have 30 days before foreclosure proceedings begin. You need $18,000 immediately to cover the arrears. If you can come up with that, you'll need $4,000 monthly going forward, plus all the other expenses. If you can't, you'll lose the house. And if we lose it? Mom whispered. Then you'll downsize to something you can actually afford. Maybe a nice apartment. Maybe Jennifer's place once her divorce settles. Maybe you'll all learn to live within your actual means instead of resources I was quietly providing. You're punishing us, Jennifer said. No. I'm letting you experience reality. The reality where your choices have consequences. The reality where you don't get to spend other people's money without their input. The reality where family means consideration and respect, not just taking whatever you want. My phone buzzed with another call. The bank again. I have to go, I said. You have 30 days. I suggest you start making calls. I hung up and sat in the quiet of my own home. Emma's room was down the hall exactly as she'd left it. Her rocks organized by type, her books arranged by color, her telescope positioned at the window. Safe. Secure. Hers. My phone lit up with a text from Marcus. Your father just called asking about a loan against the property. Want me to explain why that's not possible? No, I typed back. Let him figure it out. 3 days later, Jennifer called. Mom's in the hospital. Stress-induced heart palpitations. The doctor says she's not handling this well. I'm sorry to hear that. That's it? You're sorry. What do you want me to say, Jennifer? That I'll rescue you all again? Pay for everything while you make decisions without me? She's our mother. Yes. She's also the woman who threw out my daughter's bed without asking. Who decided my child should sleep in an attic so your daughter could have a palace. Madison is going through a hard time. So is Emma. But nobody asked about that, did they? The line went quiet. The bank is threatening foreclosure, Jennifer said finally. We can't come up with $18,000 in 30 days. Mom and Dad's credit is maxed out. My divorce lawyer already has everything I have. We need help. You needed consideration. You needed to ask. You needed to treat me like family instead of an ATM. But you didn't. So that's it? You're just going to let them lose everything. I looked at Emma's drawing on my refrigerator, a family portrait. Her, me, grandma and grandpa. Hearts drawn around everyone. I'm going to let them face the consequences of treating family like it's disposable. Maybe then they'll understand what they did. You're cruel, Jennifer whispered. No. I'm done being invisible. There's a difference. She hung up. The foreclosure notice arrived on day 28. I received a copy as a lien holder. My parents called one final time. Please, Dad said simply. We were wrong. We see that now. But please don't let us lose the house. Sell it, I said. Downsize. Find something you can afford. We'll never find anything in time. The market is. Then you should have thought about that before you gave away Emma's room. It was just a room, Mom said, crying now. No, I said quietly. It was respect. It was consideration. It was recognizing that I matter. That Emma matters. That you don't get to make unilateral decisions about spaces I'm funding. But you couldn't see that, could you? Because you never saw the money. It was just always there. Invisible. Like me. I hung up for the last time. The house sold at auction 6 weeks later. My parents moved into a small apartment across town. Jennifer and Madison moved in with them. Emma asked why we didn't visit Grandma and Grandpa anymore. Sometimes, I told her, people need to learn that family means respecting each other. Even when it's hard. She nodded, not quite understanding but trusting me anyway. My phone sits silent now. No more frantic calls. No more demands disguised as family obligations. Just peace. And Emma's room exactly where it should be. Safe. Secure. Hers. Because family shares. But first, family has to care enough to ask.